Yes, now we are recording. Welcome to the Kubernetes CNCF Kubernetes Book Club. If you're watching on YouTube, please join. Every Friday, Thursdays, we have sessions, meetups. Um, for you that are live today, we follow the code of conduct and the CNCF code of conduct. And just submit your name for attendance. If you want to put your company name also, that's also good. If not, it's not required. If you're new, we're doing the Acing the CKA exam by Chad Grover. The book is on Manning. And for news today, we have KubeCon and rejects starting on Saturday. Yeah, KubeCon next week. If you're in KubeCon, I'll be in the booth Tuesday morning at 10:30, and I have two talks. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you will see them. Eric, do you have any talks you're doing rejects and you're doing KubeCon?
I don't have any official talks. I have booth demos and stuff I'm doing at our booth. There's a combo one I'm doing with Adrian Moet from ChainGuard. We've got a couple things we're doing together.
Oh, at the booth?
Say hi to Adrian.
I will.
Yeah, we used to work together.
I know. Yeah,
Okay.
we have a booth demo we're doing together, but we also have a sponsored webinar that we're doing on Monday, right in the middle of Kubernetes Contributor Summit, unfortunately. But last I heard, we had over 700 people register for it, so this ought to be interesting.
Ooh, good.
Really?
It's free though, so you never know how many people are really committed to a free webinar. But that's okay. It's still a good number.
And I think the Istio exam is scheduled to be available this month, but people can register now. That's interesting. The exam is there. I don't know if there's a study guide or a study course. Maybe KubeCloud is doing one, but I'm not sure. If somebody knows, let us know.
Can you share the links to the notes here? Maybe I can put one thing. Last night I joined Dutch Kubernetes Cloud Native meetup. It was about observability this time. It was actually an observability day. And I think these meetups are really going well. Like last time we had the CNCF sustainability event with these folks arranging it. Let me share the link so if people are in the area, they can actually start following the events. And so
in person?
Yes, in person.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
In person, and it was hosted in Datadog office this time, hence the t-shirt, because I made it to the workshop. And yeah, it was fun. We got to learn about the upcoming features in OpenTelemetry and how it is going and all the tag observability updates. So yeah, I would encourage folks, if they're in the Netherlands, to join, to follow this meetup group.
All right. Matthew joined. Hi, Matthew. Yeah, today we're going to do Chapter 7, Storage in Kubernetes. I'll switch it to Sevi. She's going to cover today.
Thank you, Carlos. So yeah, today it's storage. So you know, this is one of the main problems we have in when you start talking about containers, right? They're designed to be ephemeral, and they have to they should be recreated. They should be dying and recreated. So, but when you have to read the state, by the way, I didn't share my screen, right? I can test this as well. So yeah, when you think about data related to your application, that becomes a problem in Kubernetes. So for this, we have persistent volumes, we have persistent volume claims, and storage classes. So this part is a little bit of an explanation about this. And as you can see, the competencies related to the exam. So it's like 10% of the questions in the CKA curriculum. And let's see, let's dive into the persistent volume. So the main idea is the data is decoupled from the pod itself, but you would need you will need to keep your data somewhere. So to be able to do that, you have an object, Kubernetes object called persistent volume, which is which also it is specified in the pod spec volumes as well. So and there, this is a good point. The pods, the persistent volumes, I'm sorry, are available to all pods in the cluster. They are not namespaced. This is important, I think. And so as pods come and go, change nodes, your data will be stored, but managed, let's say, by the persistent volume and the APIs. And so there are lots of ways to back this storage, like a network file system, like a bucket in Amazon, or any type of storage provider.
Savi, one point about, you said the volume is available to all pods, you said?
Yeah.
So
this was and
by designing Kubernetes, yes, that's true. But in practice, like for example, in cloud providers like EKS or AWS, the volume is accessible only on an availability zone. So if pods are not in that availability zone, they don't have access to the PV. So that's why you need to go extra configuration, and on like when you're moving a pod, the pod needs to land in that availability zone or move the volume to the right one. So Kubernetes would take care of making sure that the pod that used that PV or depends on that PV through a PVC lands on an availability zone, because the storage is sitting in that building, right? Not in the other building.
Yeah, totally.
Something that I learned when I started working with EKS that I didn't know.
Also, I'd like to point out that why do we have two problems occurring when containers are about the data, let's say, because when your containers are restarted, you might lose your data and you will need it. Also, you might need containers. You might need containers in a pod to be able to share some files. So they would need to access the same data as well. So that's why we need a different mechanism, kind of an abstraction layer also. Like when you try to manage the nodes, let's say storage, that would be horrible to be able to just pull for every container, every pod that is actually being restarted. But there's this nice abstraction layer for admins to actually give access to the storage on the nodes, right? So this is basically making lives easier for people who are using Kubernetes, designing applications for Kubernetes or using Kubernetes. So by the way, I thought I was sharing the my VS Code as well, but you can't see it, right? You just see the book.
We see the browser. Maybe you have to
let me try it again. Yeah, okay, entire screen should do the let's see. Yes, this is my point. So this time around I did it like you did the last time, Carlos. So CKA exam will focus on.
It's not showing on my end. It's showing on yours, Eric.
Yeah, I see the book.
No. Yeah, VS Code and book.
Okay, delay.
Okay. But if that's too small, I can just zoom in a bit. What happened to Eric's screen, by the way?
Oh, stupid Mac. Turn back on. It's the automatic.
Oh yeah, that thing.
It locks
I
my
don't have
computer up
it.
though.
What?
So-
Which update did it come with? I don't know.
The
Monterey,
latest,
maybe?
but I thought I had turned it off. Apparently, it turned itself back on.
Okay,
Yeah, it
you
locks
have-
up, so it's not great. Sorry. Digress.
Oh, the what?
Just
you were
for
showing something here.
notification effects.
Go ahead. And
Okay.
then the next. Go ahead.
Okay, so the CKA exam we were focusing on 3 types of storage: the empty there, the host path, and the NFS. So that's chat's focus as well on this chapter. So there's an exam task. We can do it all together here, but first I think I should create my cluster. So for this example, we need a 2-node cluster. So we'll use the worker nodes local storage and kind not delete, but create cluster. So I actually have.
Can you make the font bigger? Command plus.
Yes,
Maybe
of
twice.
course. Yeah. On that, I have a Turkish keyboard, so none of the shortcuts work for me. So when you say the shortcut, I don't get it. And I try not to memorize shortcuts because when I change keyboards to English to Turkish, because that happens a lot in the office and here, it just doesn't work. So I stopped memorizing shortcuts.
Yeah.
I just go on
View. I don't know where is the menu. Okay. View and zoom in.
Is this
Interesting.
better, or do you want a bit more?
I think one more. It's okay. And then you can extend it to the right.
Just a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Much better.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can make it full screen if we're going to be here.
Oops. Not telemetry, please. Okay. Here. So I have config file here for you guys. So it's just one control plane and one worker. I'm going to use the sample. And while that.
Oh, you have time with Podman. Interesting. Is it working?
Because unfortunately, as much as I love Docker, last week or last month when I was doing the chapter 4 presentation, it gave me such a hard time. I just tried like 3 or 4 days. It didn't work. So I had to switch to Podman, which was interesting, which has been interesting. I kind of like it. I've also been using Podman Compose as well. Everything's pretty similar apart from the networking pieces. Yeah, for networking bits and pieces, you have to be a bit more careful. You have to understand what's going on. But Podman has been super nice. I also don't have a UI, which was okay, like the old days. So.
Well, there's a UI, by the way, Sebi, you don't know.
Yeah. It doesn't come with Podman by default. Like.
Oh, really? I downloaded like an app and I double click it and I got everything.
I just used Brew.
Brew. Okay.
Podman.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it didn't come with the UI, and I was okay with it. So yeah, let's check.
That's true. If people are looking for alternative to Docker, Finch is an AWS thing. It's a container CLI, and it's 1.0.
I might want to have a look at this as well, because as much as I like Podman, I had a few glitches with Python when I was working on this project last week. This was a Go project, and I struggled a little bit. But it's been fun to write documentation now for Podman commands. Okay, so do I have? Yes, okay. But before you start everything, it's usually nice to do this. But in the exam, you will have the K already sorted for you. Okay, so let's get going a little bit. So for this one, I'm going to do Podman exec. So I will be going bashing into the control plane. But I don't actually know why this is needed, because just to create a persistent volume, just to create this, I don't know why we had to bash here. And it didn't make sense. And I worked with being outside of it, because I don't
Yeah,
have
run it. You can
Vim
run it
or
outside.
Vim.
Eric ran it outside
Yeah.
last time, and it was fine.
Yeah, it's probably because to make it similar to the exam environment.
Linux environment, yeah. Only
Linux
with the tools that you
environment.
have, VI,
Yeah.
right? Only, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why
To practice, for people to practice.
oops, wait, what was it? I'm lost.
You can install it inside there if you want.
Install what?
I just
Vim.
did
Inside
one.
Time.
Yeah, that's true. But instead, because I think for presentation purposes, having a little bit of color is really helpful.
Yeah. So yeah, do it from that side. Eric did it from that side. I think it was fine.
Yeah. So there is this exam tip, by the way, in the exam environment. Copying, pasting will be a little bit trickier. So we might need to practice this somewhere. Control-Shift-C, Control-Shift-V, and let's move. So this is our first persistent volume. And for this, chat suggests to go into the Kubernetes documentation. Yeah, docs, oops, yeah. And and let's see. This is suggested to practice. So because for some commands you will have to go to the documentation. So I don't know if I should do it, but yeah. Hello. So this is our YAML. Obviously, you will have to do it this way, and then we blah blah blah. Let's see, and paste, and but wait, let's see if Chad wants it as the default. No. So we need to change the name, which will be also in the exam, like changing names, assigning, or using different images from the default one. And we will have to change the storage from 10 to 200 M. And then, yeah, this is it. So I'm going to save it. Okay, I'm doing it second time. Yeah, then let's see what we get. PP. Yeah. So, yay, our first system volume. Yay. So it's as easy as it is. And it is, we will go into the storage class thingy, but we knew, yeah, so this example comes with a manual one. But I believe if you don't give it a storage class, it will be the standard one, right? Which will be automatic. I'm not sure. We can test that actually.
It will be the default, which is a storage class that has an annotation, right? As an annotation that indicates that that's the default. There's a special annotation in this class.
Yeah. So let's see. To be able to, so we have now specified a persistent volume, which is basically like an API for users and admins to, allow us to be able to use some storage. And to be able to use that, we need a persistence volume claim, which is PDC. Oh, these images are a bit difficult in the book, but let's go.
That's feedback for Chris.
Yeah.
Pictures are nice, but then it would be good to have something to copy paste.
Some of them, yeah, have code underneath
the copy button. Yeah.
Okay, so
I think for commands, the commands, terminal commands, they're there.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But I think the website book doesn't have like a copy of file. And want to mention something here. that helped me a lot as an admin in Kubernetes. Some folks have the perception that a PVC can only be created or used from a pod. And when you're an admin and you're trying to troubleshoot like storage classes and PVs and PVCs, you don't need a pod. You can like create PVCs all day long with YAML and create the volume, and don't waste your time like trying to go through the process of creating a deployment. Because a lot of people have the perception that they think that to create a PVC is the standard procedure of using a PVC template inside a deployment, for example.
Yeah,
Hey, Sevi, if you go back to the book real quick.
sure. Oops, this. Yeah, yeah.
Right above that, you see that MNGBZ URL?
Oh, short URL?
That's a short URL to an example. You can
Ah.
copy.
Yeah,
good.
I was trying to do it like I would do it in the exam, not just wanted to
okay,
use
yeah.
the link.
No,
Yeah.
But
I'm
it took
sorry.
me,
Search.
yeah,
I'll shut up.
no, it took me longer. No, it took me longer than I was hoping.
Yeah,
So I
so
was
for
like
the
thinking
exam,
about it, like how I can just make it faster.
so
That's
the
an
tip
excellent
is the
point.
exam is what to, I already, yeah, so for the exam, try to remember what search terms to look for. So if you're
Yeah.
looking for PVC, don't
Yeah.
type PVC, type persistent volume, and you'll
Yeah.
find it. If you
Yeah, I
want to
did
want
it
the PVC
actually.
persistent volume claim for folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's in the
Like you did.
persistent volume page actually.
Yeah.
It
So
doesn't have a separate.
people put
Yeah,
PVC and they get lost of like searching for only the word PVC, the three letter.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I need now. And yeah, let's do this PVC2 YAML. And basically, okay, so I probably will need to, let's go to the example, change name. And they will also give you all these details in the exam, which you will have to keep an eye on. And 3 Gs from 90 MI.
Yeah, in the exam they use things
But
like these names like
Eric,
this.
thank you for pointing that out. I was just thinking how this could get faster for people. And, yeah.
But yeah, it's an excellent point, though. You do need to be able to know where to find things
Yep.
during the exam.
And I already like know all the search terms that to look
Yeah,
for,
it's
not
really
to look for.
important not to spend too much time on this stuff. And this looks a bit less beautiful than I would like it. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So my persistent volume is here and my volume claim is bound. So the idea here is claim will bind itself to the closest persistent volume it can find. I don't know if it also will have to check the type or like access modes and everything.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
have all these details in the upcoming sections. But for now, this example is only about the size here. So we had actually, I'm going to just, go
And the mode, I
here.
think this one was the mode, read write once. Was looking for a PV that is read write once.
So yeah, this is important. So some storage types can't do all access modes. So this will affect, your PVC as well. So you might want to be careful about that. Also, while you're actually in the real world, you will have to take care of it. So now we have a persistent volume claim that is bound, and yeah, I'm going to create a deployment. We should just, for the sake of time, I should use this one. But in the book, you will see that we can use the dry run here.
To create
So we can get, creating a deployment into this file for an Nginx image. So I will probably do lots of, okay. And Chad, in this example, will probably be very similar to an exam question, is asking you to put Yeah, I actually want to do this because it won't come with the volume spec, and we will have to add it. So let's use this here, but I'm going to just use the colored one. So we will have to add, as you can see, underneath the spec here, the deployment, not deployment spec, but metadata and template section, we have to add volumes. Then I didn't see something wrong happening when I don't delete the status.
Yeah. Well,
And let's go. Then I will tell what volume to use. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong section. Yes, this would have to be. No, I'm in the wrong right place. Right?
Yeah, spec volumes.
Yeah. Then I have to tell which volume claim I want to use, which is basically telling the name. I hope I changed all that. And then under the container, I need to tell where to mount this volume, which means in the container, which directory you want to mount this volume to. It's not like you're doing something on the volume side. It's actually telling where it should be hooked in the container, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's correct.
So under the resources section, let's put the volume mount, which is pretty clear. So I'm glad that it's like that, because when you're in an exam environment, sometimes things get look very similar. Mount path. I always make this typo all the time. So this is basically us telling. Yeah, to mount some data into this path in our container. Oops. Of course, I'm in the. What's going on here? Okay. Now let's create this deployment and let's see what happens. Oh wait. So
What happened?
this is my storage. This is my request from the storage, like persistent volume. I thought if I make this bigger, would my deployment work? Like how the storage.
If you make it bigger than what?
Bigger than the persistent volume itself.
Yeah, it would not bind.
Yeah, this was my little
I think
fun part. Yeah. Let's see if it can also use this.
You have a typo on
request.
The dash on the flag.
Oopsie. Yeah. So you can't change this on the fly, so you have to delete it. And let's just.
So question for you. This is a good test. Stop there.
Yeah.
So you just deleted the PVC that was 100 meg. Did I just delete it on my file? My important files, like all my pictures, are gone now.
Don't know what the people say.
What people say? You can put it in the chat. Is my data lost? Yes or no?
Or thumbs up, thumbs down.
Or thumbs up or thumbs down? Anyone wants to play? Somebody says, don't think the data is gone. Well, the data is lost. Yeah, I think you can set it. I don't know what that means. No, the volume exists. So if you're an admin in Kubernetes in production, you really want to get a straight answer, not when doing this. So the data is not lost. The claim is just a pointer, right? I'm claiming that it depends on the reclaim policy. So reclaim policy, it says retain. I don't know, the column that says retain is when the PVC gets deleted, what happens to the volume? So this can be retained or it could be deleted. Like when I delete the PVC, the PV can automatically be deleted. And then the data actually is gone. So it depends what is the retain policy of that volume being created by a controller. Sometimes you're not creating volumes by hand. You're creating volumes. What's the word that we use? Automatically. Like there's a word in Kubernetes that provisions this automatically by the controller. Automatic provision.
So if I changed, let's try it. If I changed, wait, we don't have to delete policy, reclaim policy, right? Let's see the reclaim policies. So you're saying if we change the reclaim policy to delete in PVC, we would lose the PV.
Yeah, because that's what you're telling. Like, if I really don't want to have files around because they waste space and they don't not needed, how are their garbage collected?
Let's try it. I'm really come on. I think we had an example here. No, I'm so lazy. Where should I go?
You don't have to do it if you want to continue with the book. What I didn't want to derail.
I really wanted to do it, but it's fine. Okay, because I have another playful thing with the storage class because I had to look it up just to make sure if I remember it correctly. So reclaim policy is about PVC, not the object using the PV. So let's try, for example, creating this deployment, and it will bound to the PV and the PVC, right? Then let's delete the deployment to see what happens. Maybe, yeah. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna continue because I'm taking
just as a summary, like there's 3 types of reclaim policy: is retain, recycle, and delete. I think I found it in the docs. Yep.
So I'm going to apply this one. It's created. By the way, you can get many different types of objects with comma here, but this one's pending because I asked for bigger storage than my actual storage here. Requested, let's say. And this time around, I hope it will. Okay, it's pending because I probably did something with it. Okay, let's try it. PVC is gone. Sizes. Oh, okay, this was 90. I don't know if it's related to that. Don't think so. Should be. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna switch to this one. Yeah. Okay, guys, I need to troubleshoot this one here now.
What exercise are we doing?
I'm going to have to get the PVC bind to the PV, which probably is about the size. But okay, I'm gonna use this one I did today with from the box, so it shouldn't probably be an issue. No, it's pending. For some reason, I can't get it.
Was you creating the PV and the PVC together, or show the PV? What's the PV?
This one's too big. Why? Okay, this was right before the deployment. I'm totally fine if you guys want to suggest things. Yeah, 90. And yeah, probably can't see it. I won't be able to change it now. And let's delete the PVC. And for this one, I need it just to show that the deployment works with the volume. Nothing much, to be honest, but it's pending. Anyway, I'm going to switch. So guys, when you have your PV and PVC working together, you should be able to deploy this.
So the PV, you're not working with the deployment yet, right?
No, it's pending.
So why
Oh,
is it
wait.
pending?
I should be able to.
You don't have a PV available. Like so let's troubleshoot it. Like the way you troubleshoot is do a describe on the volume claim to see why is it pending. It will tell you why is it pending on the events on the claim.
Yeah, that's true. Let's try that. I'm going to do this. Oops. I lost screen sharing because I hit the lock button. Sorry for that. Okay,
Yeah, we're back.
thank you. Okay, so now let's see. Manual not found.
Manual not found. Yeah, because the PV doesn't have storage class manual. Don't check on the files, check on the cluster. Don't trust the files.
I'm gonna maybe check that PV and totally I'm gonna check here. Storage class manual.
Yeah, so go ahead and delete the PVC. That's what you did? You deleted the PVC and deleted the PV?
Didn't delete the PV, just deleted PVC.
So if the PV is dirty and was used by someone, it's not going to be used by the new PVC. Like you don't want to give a PV to somebody else. It's not available. So
Let's
delete the PV,
one.
delete the PVC and delete the PV. And then recreate the PV, make sure
Wait.
it's available, and then create the PVC.
Nothing, right? I was thinking, okay, do I have something?
No,
That's
delete the
using
PV,
this.
delete the PVC.
Yeah.
Then create the PV, check that it can be bound, that it's available. And the PVC is gone.
Let's see. Oops. Everything's clear.
Yep, you're good. So create the PV that we did in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because the book assumes the book assumes that you are doing things in order. So you created a PV, you created a PVC, you never deleted the PVC. That's why the thing that you did that's not in the book. And then you create a deployment that uses the PVC that you created once. So check the status of your PV and PVC.
I thought I deleted PVC. Just okay, this
Yeah,
time
it's
it's
bound.
down. Yeah. Once I deleted it, when I created it again, I thought that's what I did only, but might have done something in between just to play with it. Okay, let's go back. Now we are creating a deployment here to be able to use this PVC and through that the PV. Three, right?
A pod, right?
Yeah.
One a pod to use it. Yeah, it's creating. Which
So,
image is doing Nginx? They take a minute.
Nginx.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a type.
Which should it?
Yes.
Where's the typo came from? Okay.
I thought this one was, I was trying to type here. This was from today, and it, maybe I just hit it when I'm typing here. Let's try it. So it's configured. Okay, this one's gone. This one came back using the same data.
Yeah. It didn't prevent, the typo didn't prevent you. The typo wasn't the cause for the container creating. Container creator was just taking their time to download the image.
I do believe that I have the image because I tried it.
Yeah. But I was trying to say the typo didn't fix anything. The typo, the file was going to be mounted in that place regardless. Like the directory name will have the typo in there.
Yeah. So yeah, this would be one of the questions that might come up in the exam. So so when you use the FAF type volume in multiple node clusters, the data will be in all the nodes in the cluster. And the storage configuration would expect it to be the same in all through out in nodes. But if not, the data will only be written to one node. So if your pod is scheduled to one node, this node, there's a probability that the data will not reside on that node. So you might have funny things happening here. So you can use, to just get around this problem, it says, you can use NFS, network file system, right? So it's an NFS on the network. We will not be able to test this, but in the exam, this might come up and you will be able to use it, actually. So I got to this part, like we can create a persistent volume, we can create a persistent volume claim, but the pod will not run, unfortunately, when you try to bind an NFS type of storage. So basically, the rest is the same. Let's have a look at this. So you will have the NFS and the path and the server definition here.
He didn't provide the NFS server controller. Okay.
Okay. No, I mean,
okay,
if you have
that's
a
fine.
Yeah. But in
but
the
if
exam,
somebody
I
wants to
remember
do
this
it,
was coming up.
if somebody wants to try NFS like with kind, there's a operator or controller from Kubernetes SIG that you can just kubectl apply the Helm chart right in the YAML files, and then you'll be able to. There'll be a pod inside like as an NFS server, and then you'll be able to use it. Maybe he missed the link to that repo. So we can provide it.
Probably just to focus on the exam.
Yeah. And the exam they will not ask you to deploy NFS. They might tell you that it's already running and the address.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You just mount the volume.
Yeah.
To your deployment or your pod. That's it. So we have volume mode. This is so is the type of volume being accessed by Kubernetes, and we don't specify anything. A persistent volume will use the file system, as you can see here. But there is the block one, and yeah.
There's two file and block.
Yeah.
File and block, and then some applications they don't work with files, right? They deal with block data blocks, disk blocks. So that's why block. But most of the time, it's applications are compatible with file and block.
Yeah, I was trying to describe this one. Yeah, here. You can
This one is
file
file system. Yeah. Which is the most common one, I guess, for apps that want to put your microservices, right? That you want to write some files. Use file system for files.
Yeah, so for using block devices, to
like
use
databases,
block devices.
Some databases require block, for example.
Yeah, you can check this on the documentation or the data storage, let's say, we're using. You can find them. So let's see, we can use this one. I think this was okay. This is the one here. I'm going to just check. This is the volume mode block example. Let's try this one.
Yeah, and the volume type by default is file system. So you don't specify, then you don't have to worry about your file system.
Yeah. And there are different access will actually require you understand how volume should be accessed, and like I think the explanation here is pretty good. So from the node's perspective, the node is one accessing the volume, right? So read write once means that only one node can mount the volume. And
this is a good question. Yeah, that's that. Let's talk about read write once. You said it correctly. It means the volume the node can read and write once to this volume, right? So the question for you or Eric or everyone, if I have two pods on the same node, can those two read write into the volume when it's read write once? They're sitting in the same node. You have two pods writing to that volume or to that PVC, like two pods mounting the same PVC.
Repeat the question?
If you if you have a PVC that is read write once, can two pods write to it at the same time? And
two
it's read write once.
Scheduled on the same node?
Scheduled in the same node.
I would say yes, but
all right, Chad,
just says no. Okay.
One node.
Cards are being shuffled.
Okay, so the answer is what Sevi said, and I and a lot of people, me and a lot of people that I used to work when I was learning Kubernetes, they always think that read write once, read write only many is about pods, and it's not about pods. It's about nodes. So you run the risk of two pods if you don't do the anti-affinity kind of thing, right? If two pods land in the same node and they try to write to the same data, they will be like overwriting each other. So you have a problem there.
Yeah, that is a good distinction.
Yeah. So the documentation says node, and a lot of people think pods, right? So it's node.
It's a lot less fancy than I thought it was.
Sorry?
It's a lot less sophisticated than I thought it was, because I thought it was actually working out some kind of worm drive kind of a thing for it, but it's not. It's just mounting it one way on
mounting in the Linux. At the end of the day,
exactly.
Kubernetes is about Linux. It's a Linux server that mounted a iSCSI, right, or NFS. So
I'm not a Linux expert. I didn't know if maybe the kernel had some way of doing that for one process and not another.
Okay, I need to get going. This is super fun, but okay, 3 other modes. Read only many. Let's think about the nodes perspective. It means multiple nodes can use this volume. Then read write many. Multiple nodes can mount the volume for writing and reading. So yeah, when you set this for the nodes perspective, it is yeah, super clear. And read write one spot. Okay, this is what Eric I think.
Oh, this one is
about,
new or
which
recently
means
new.
that only one pod on that one node can mount that volume. For
Well, there you go.
That's how they fix it. This is new.
You
This
have your sophisticated way of doing it, Eric. Now.
No, yeah, that's how they fix it. So Eric's solution is that one. I wonder
Yeah.
when that, but I don't remember in 2015, 2016, this thing there. Okay.
I mean, it's just how
so
it's being
these-
mounted, right? It doesn't seem like it's that hard to implement.
You go to the Kubernetes Contributor Summit, right?
I just got my
Okay,
denial. So
when
I
you
was not-
say only one pod, so it's mounted to this one pod, and when it dies, you can still use that volume, right?
When it dies, you can only use that.
Well, but if I delete the pod,
Oh, remember the
I wanna
last
test
question
this
about
later.
deleting PVCs. It's about losing the data is about how the retain policy is on the PV and how the PVC is going to be
Yeah,
cleaned up.
okay,
Yeah, nothing
okay.
pod. If you have a pod that has a PVC template that is creating the PVC, and then you delete the pod deletes the PVC tells it's delete the retain policy, then the PV is deleted.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm not sure if this might come up in the exam, but there is.
Oh, here is retain.
not
The next
about-
section is reclaim
Yeah, yeah.
policies.
Yeah. It's about PV having more than one access mode. If you have many modes in the PV, you can just utilize one access mode at a time, because that would be like.
Yeah.
So who
So
goes
the
fast
PV,
gets it, right?
yeah, the PV is just saying these are my capabilities. You can use one of them, right? You
Yeah.
can use me.
It's basically thinking about administrator's perspective, like you are telling people to use the storage with these access modes, but yeah, they will have to choose one. And we have here host path, and so yeah, host path is not able to support read only many, read write many, or read write one spot, because yeah, it come up in the exam apparently. So for the exam, you might need to remember what host path type supports, and also empty there and the rest as well. So there is a nice explanation here, like these short forms, what these short forms represent. And I'm gonna be moving a bit faster, hopefully. And reclaim policies. Ta-da! Reclaim. So let's try this. As you can see here, not here, but in the PVC, I'm gonna check get PVC. Can't we see the policy here? Oh no, it's here, reclaim policy. So, so there are different policies, and this one was retain. There are other two, recycle and delete. One of them is duplicated, recycle. So just try to remember retain or delete. And delete indicates that the batch storage is deleted as well as a PV object in the Kubernetes.
Interesting.
I'm going to move.
Recycle is being deprecated. Interesting.
Yeah, I was not aware of that as well. So this policy, yeah, I got it right, man. And persistent volume claim. So yeah, this comes to the first example. So when you have a request for 9 amps, yeah, it will find the most the closest one to your request. Not necessarily will search for the 90, and will not also go for the bigger one if this one's available. And also we'll have to look for the specific access modes as we discussed earlier. And I'm going to be moving to just status, the phases of the volume. So it will be available, bound, released, or failed. This will probably help you a lot day-to-day life. These are the ones like you don't want to see, like failed probably. Available, bound, and released looks nicer. And storage class. So it's a way of storage classes are a way of describing, like grouping similar types of storage for easier use and giving dynamic access to your persistent volumes. How come? Let's try this one.
Yeah, the storage classes are used heavily by the CSI driver. So every cloud vendor or vendor open source project can create a operator or controller for CSI, and they will have their own class, right, for working with their type of persistent volumes.
Mm-hmm. So for this volume claims, we have a storage class name standard, which means you will be able to dynamically provision a PV using this one. Let me try this. I remember where this example was. Maybe if I'm moving too fast, but I better move fast as well for the time. So let's have a look. Okay, so this one's pending. Yeah. So this is because it's only going to be provisioned when there's a consumer for this one. Let's try to create one here. So this is another deployment, an example deployment. We just used the same example, just changed the front-end labels and names as backend, and also we added this name. Yeah, go ahead.
What is the benefit of having something wait for consumer? Do you have the PVC? Can you show number 8, the PVC?
Mm-hmm.
The file PVC, do you set it up to wait for consumer, wait for first consumer?
You mean this one? The file, you mean the deployment?
The PVC that is a standard, is it wait for first consumer? The PVC YAML for this.
Oh, YAML, sorry. Yeah.
The PVC YAML, file 8, PVC standard.yaml, that one.
It's here, yeah.
Okay, so it's set standard, which is wait for first consumer.
Yeah.
And then what is the benefit? What's the benefit of first consumer? Why would you?
You don't. So when you make this manual, it will automatically bind to a volume, which will use unnecessarily a volume before a deployment comes, right?
And you say unnecessary.
You will waste. Yeah, you will waste storage.
You will waste money.
Yeah.
Which is more important. If you create something that doesn't wait for first consumer, you're creating a volume. If you're in the cloud, you're creating storage that you're not using, and you're waste money, right?
Exactly.
Go ahead.
And this backend, backend deployment will now bind to this persistent volume claim, but it will be managed by the storage class. And let's see if there is a reclaim policy here. No, because I thought that would be fun, but 9. Okay, let's see now if we have backend. Don't know. Yeah, it's MySQL, so it will take some time probably. Let's check.
Oh, MySQL. Okay. Reclaim. And this is using block.
It says failed because probably I already have back.
How do you know when something's wrong when it says backup restarting? Look in the
error.
logs.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't have a storage class, do I have?
I think we're
so.
using standard, no? The standard that is pending to be used.
But
Claim 03833.
let me. Okay. So I think Jack here was talking about a default storage class that is created with the kind cluster. So many Kubernetes clusters come with a default storage class, right? But I might have played with it a little bit. Let's see.
It's the default. See the parenthesis as default?
Yeah, it's the default one.
So
Okay.
the reason that it's not coming up, there's an error in the pod, in the container.
Yeah, let's check logs.
So if you copy the YAML file, it might be something that he put in it, or like some syntax or typos, copy pasting.
I'm gonna now check this one.
Check the logs to see what's the error. It looks fine.
Yeah. Wait. Pod. This one's failed, right? Pod logs. Was it get logs?
Yeah, K logs, do not get.
K logs, yeah. My data is just not working with the MySQL image. Okay. I need to pass some environment variables apparently, and I don't. Let me see if.
Yeah, MySQL root password is there. He has it in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, without. He has it in the YAML in the book.
Actually, yeah, we just check the PV and PVC here to see if it's bound.
So check the PVC.
Yeah. It's
bound.
Yeah, it's bound. To fix this MySQL issue, we will have to pass some environment variables and just provide some meaningful data for this. So I'm gonna move on to the next one. And class. So this is a good point to the reclaim policy. Get deployments. I actually didn't wait for this one to get up the pods. Describe. No. I was so. If you find the reclaim policy. volumes. I have my volumes here. No.
Which exercise are you doing now?
So this is about the storage class reclaim policy. Oh no!
Inherent.
Wait, I should
Yeah.
have.
So if you put
Yeah, I should check the PV instead.
so the PV will have properties that are in the
Yeah.
class.
I went into, sorry guys, I went into the pod to check the volume inside. So yeah, reclaim policy came from our storage class, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
you can configure the storage class with certain properties that will be default in every
Here.
persistent volume that gets created. That's why
Here,
he was.
reclaim policy was delete, and now when I get a PV managed by the storage class, it also came with the same reclaim policy.
Delete. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And non-persistent volumes. So
that's empty there, right?
empty there, exactly. So let's create this one here. It's flow collector. I have it somewhere. No, yeah, I have it. Let's see. So let's add volumes here. This will come up in the exam all the time, so you have to know where you put your volumes.
Yeah, something to remember maybe is I always remember volumes. The short one goes at the spot spec, and the volume, the long one, volume mounts, goes into the container. That's how I remember.
This one. Now this one's not mounted. No, I'm going to have to mount it, obviously. Let's put it here. As you said, volume mount. Oopsie. And block. Then you have to unit. Okay. I don't have a volume. Do I? That is empty there.
The volume mount should have a name. Like which volume do you want to mount?
Yes, yeah.
Does it has a errata in the book?
Let's see, mount path name.
See.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's the name here.
Yeah, he has name.
And yeah, the code is here as well. Okay, now it's created. Let's check. Was this a pod? Yeah. Yes, my log collector is running. I'm gonna. Yeah, I think we're at the bottom. Okay, of the section. So when you kill this pod, I mean, your pod dies, this volume will die with it. So it's not very helpful for, I don't know, real world applications probably, but you might need it for some, for some specific use case. So yeah, there's some
have a question here. Quiz. I have a quiz here. Pop quiz.
Sure. We don't
So
get
empty
any gifts or anything.
You get pop quizzes. I was looking for one. So empty dirt is that when you put files in empty-dir, does that go into the hard disk of that server, or does it go to memory, TMPFS?
What was the question?
When you create a volume empty-dir, I don't know how to pronounce that. Does the files are written
one.
to disk on the server, or is it written into memory, a temporary file system?
I always thought it was TempFS.
Okay.
It's
configurable?
volume, right? It's volume, I would say, but it's a specific one empty-dir. I don't know what to say here. I would just pick memory, just for fun.
So there's so the answer is you can make it what you want
Configurable?
by, there's an empty-dir.medium. There's a medium that you can say medium equals memory in the empty-dir, in the section of volume, and it will go into memory. If not, it will go to disk. So that's why you need to be sure that you cap your storage in kubelet to configure like how much I'm willing to give pods
Yes.
ephemeral storage, right? And then when you do TMPFS, I think it says here, it's directly proportional to the amount of memory available on the node. So depending how much memory is on the Linux node. So in terms of that, TMPFS, you can use TMPFS, or you can mount it into like an disk. It will be your local disk, or it could be NVMe, but yeah, it could be TMPFS or it could be disk. But there's a medium called medium.medium, and you can say equals memory. So you always asking the cube like, give me memory, and that will guarantee you like performance wise, or like, but it's a trade-off, right? Using memory versus disk.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So this summary section here is really good, especially it has great tips for the exam. So like what you should remember or what you should learn. I'm just going to say some make sure you use PV, PVC, and try to understand how volumes modes, or like different types of storage works with Kubernetes objects.
It looks like recycle will not come in the exam if it's really bucket, and maybe you have to deal with retain or delete, right?
Yeah.
Learning those aspects, learning how to change the provisioner. He has an example like changing or specifying a specific provision that you're given, or the name of the class, or you're given like a URL or a host name to an NFS server, and all those examples are in the docs, in the Kubernetes docs.
And also, maybe we could talk about two ways of getting data storage from Kubernetes. So there's one way to do it manually. So it will be you buy a PV, PVC, and then you hook up your application with a pod or a deployment to this. But then there's the dynamic way of doing it. It will be through a storage class. Then you have a PVC, you create a PVC. Then when you create your pod or deployment, it will automatically be bound to a storage, a PV. One thing though, reclaim policy is about PVC, right? Not the object using the pod or deployment, using the PV, let's say. And so a few notes on that. And that was it.
And access modes. Access modes is about nodes, not pods, except for this new one that I learned about, the access mode for a pod.
Yeah.
What's the name? Read write once pod.
Yeah. I also want to point out, when you see your PVC pending, like we did, if you're using a storage class, that's not a problem. Make sure you just have a deployment, then it will be
because it's waiting on first consuming.
Yes,
first
storage
consumer.
class. Yeah, better way to do it. So you
Pending
won't
is a good
actually spend money on
Yeah, pending is a good thing there because it's waiting for
Don't
the
panic.
pod. Yeah, deployment. Yeah, very good.
Okay.
No waste time debugging that.
Yeah, I also panicked the first time, and again, yeah, like why is this happening? It happens. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, that was
that
good.
was
We
that
cover
was me.
storage. Thank you, Savvy, so much.
Thanks a lot for listening and watching my struggles with typing and on a Friday
Oh, you did
evening.
great. You did great. You did great.
It's super fun to just do all these with you guys. So also for
Okay.
people watching on YouTube, enjoy and play with us.
Yeah, and thank you for
Thank
folks
you,
that join
everyone.
live and
Yes.
play along with the questions and answers and the quizzes.
So we're skipping
Okay.
next week, right?
Sorry?
We're skipping
So
next
you-
week because we're all
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
be-
skip next week. And then after that, we'll see Chad in KubeCon. I think he's going to do the last chapter, troubleshooting. Or I can do it either way. He wants to do it. And I think that's the last one. Unless he wants to do one
Yes.
on just like mechanics of taking the exam. I think that's the chapter number 9. But it's up to him.
We also don't have a next book, I guess. Planned.
Oh, I think
do we?
we talk about doing CKS next book. I think someone was mentioning that in the
It was a request. Which book are we thinking about?
yeah, there's a book, there's a Slack, somebody put it in Slack, something about CKS, and there's a book, and it's recent book, so we can take a
Nice.
look on that.
I mean, from a
That would be
completely
fun.
selfish view, I'm all for that because I'm due to renew. But
Me too.
if we want to take a break,
I got
and
my
do
email.
topic.
I got an email saying you have to renew.
Yeah, I think mine is actually expired.
Maybe we can squeeze in a different book and do CKS next year.
Okay, Mike Coleman says that he's willing to help host sessions, and that there's a book called Certified Kubernetes Security Specialist Study Guide. Let me put it here, and that might be the next book we start. Actually, I told someone that it's January, but I guess we're going to start this month. Yeah, maybe we'll do 1 or 2 sessions this year. But that's
chapters are there.
I didn't stop the recording.
Okay.